could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in.
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I am your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Friday morning? Weather looks pretty nice out here, up here in New York. But how's the weather near you guys? How y'all feeling on this Friday morning? Sorry I was running a little bit late. Man, I'll tell you what. I have such a hard time deciding what thumbnail to choose, what topic to try to draw people's interest. You know, this podcasting thing, this creator content thing is a time consuming, almost full-time job type of thing. It really is. I'm not gonna lie. What up, Cap? Good morning. Joe Riss, what up? Glenn, good morning. I'm in upstate New York. Cap for life says it's hot, bro. 90 degrees in my car this AM. Listen, Cap, I was in Florida last year at this time. I was in Florida. I was down there from May 25th till June 5th or something like that. And oh man, I was dying. It was so hot. By 6 a.m., you know, I like to get up early, sit around the pool and stuff. And by 6 a.m., just dripping sweat. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. Edward, good morning. With Ross, Greer, and McDaniel, is anything predictable? Not really. Not really. Because just when you think you got this team figured out, just when you think that we may have some sense of direction, some sense of, you know, continuity, some sense of what this team's going to look like, we get a curveball, and we've seen that yesterday. Good morning, Shake. Good morning. Good morning, Bonnie. Hot and muggy here, man. Yeah, that muggy shit, that's what gets you. That muggy stuff, because out in Vegas, you know, it can be 120 degrees and it's comfortable. I mean, it's hot, but it's comfortable. Glenn says, who do you think is Miami's X factor this year? I mean, the quarterback's the X factor, Glenn, every year. At Tua's health, this team's going to only go as far as Tua's health allows them to go. I think, people, I'm not a Tua near, regardless. I find myself sticking up for him a lot, but there's a lot of people that hate on him. I do find myself sticking up for Tua an awful lot, but there's a lot of people that hate on him and just don't want to tell the truth about the guy. That's nice, Bonnie. I appreciate that you listen to me every morning. I really do. I appreciate each and every one of you that get up and, rock out with me. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. I'd gotten emotional a little bit a couple weeks ago, and I tell my wife all the time that I can't even believe that I'm in the situation that I'm in, and I'm not even in a great situation. I make $0 on this. You know what I mean? I would like to make some dollars off it, but that's not what it's about. Tua is who he is. Listen, people don't give Tua enough credit though. Tua's a good quarterback. I think Tua with a bunch of average players, or at least very decent, they don't have to be great, and Tua's going to get you 8 wins. Tua's accurate. Tua's going to put the ball where it needs to go most games. Is he going to have the occasional stinker? Yeah. Is he going to be able to beat the great teams? No. But Tua's going to be able to beat most teams in the league. As far as ball placement and accuracy, there's not too many quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than Tua. Tua is who he is. Tight end was an X factor last year. Yeah, Jonnu was big for us last year. I'm not going to lie. I mean, but Jonnu, obviously Jonnu can have 92 catches for 800 and some yards, 8 touchdowns, break all the tight end receiving records here in Miami. But, Tua missed 6 games. We missed the playoffs. So, I mean, Tua is still the X factor to me. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's players that are going to be crucial to this team. If you take away from the quarterback, who's our X factor? It's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is the best player on this football team. And if Tyreek Hill wants to go out and dominate and has his mindset to dominate, Tyreek Hill's going to dominate. Tyreek Hill is the most gifted athlete probably that's ever played for the Miami Dolphins. Ever. We're talking ever. He is a generational player. What up, Frozen Finn fan? Listen, he's this guy is a Hall of Fame generational talent. Tua will get you 8 to 10 wins every year. I think this year's X factor will be Jalen and the tackle. I think this offensive line as a whole is gonna be an X factor, because we're gonna struggle to throw the ball like we did last year if we can't run the ball. Bottom line. I hear a lot of these false narratives from some of these podcasters that, tell me you don't know football without telling me you don't know football. You know what I mean? One of them was on today. I'm not going to say their names. You know what I mean? But if you just listen to their podcast, you know that they are not very intelligent when it comes to the game of football. They just go by what other people say, and they try to make up, narratives by it and follow everybody else's narrative. They can't come to their own conclusion, but it's cool. Make sure we hit that like button for me, please. We do a pretty good job of getting the likes up in the time that we're on live. It kills me that after we're not live, I get views, but I don't get no more likes, and it drives me nuts. Again, if you don't like the content, please, by all means, don't hit a like button just because I ask you to. You know what I mean? If you don't like the content, by all means, don't like the video. But if you like the content and you support the channel, that's the only way we can get out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you can talk about the cornerback position as a whole is going to be a X factor for this team. The offensive line as a whole is going to be the X factor. You can say Tyreek Hill, you can say the pass rush unit as a whole. I mean, there's a lot of different moving parts to this team that are going to be crucial for the success of the Miami Dolphins this year. So the breaking news coming out of Miami yesterday, it was an off day, no OTAs yesterday. It kicks back up today. The big news coming out of Miami yesterday is that the Dolphins have been discussing a possible trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers for our Pro Bowl tight end, Jonnu Smith. Listen, I don't even know where to begin on this. I don't know where to begin on this. Honestly, we keep hearing from Chris Greer, this is not a rebuild. This is not a rebuild. This is not a rebuild. But we're not willing to spend any type of money. Yeah, Jonnu Smith's 30 years old. He's 30 years old. That's when players start getting paid less, typically around the NFL. But you got to admit, Jonnu Smith, for his performance last year, was grossly underpaid. He was grossly underpaid. What's he on schedule to make this year? $4 million? Marcos, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Send Ramsey to Carolina already. Listen, I don't care where he goes as long as he gets the hell out of here. I don't care where he goes as long as he gets the hell out of here. I'd be glad to ship him to Carolina for you, brother. I'd be glad to. Get him out the AFC. Get him. You know what? I don't even want him out the AFC. I want him to have to match up against Tyreek, and Tua and Tyreek just do him dirty as shit. Frozen Fin fan said he was paid 32nd in the league. He slotted for 4.84. Yeah, I seen that he was 32nd overall. And is Jonnu a top 10 tight end? I don't know about that. What's a fair market value for Jonnu? Dallas Goedert makes about $10 million a year. I don't know if Jonnu's as good as Dallas Goedert, because Dallas Goedert's a great all-around tight end. Dallas Goedert gets it done in the receiving game. Dallas Goedert's a great blocking tight end. Mike Gesicki getting 8-something a year. Is Jonnu better than Mike Gesicki? Yeah. And, Jonnu wants to stay in Miami. He made it clear that he wants to stay in Miami. This same podcaster earlier today, Jonnu wants out. Jonnu don't want out. Jonnu wants to stay. So again, please inform yourself before, I don't know everything. Not by a long shot. But I don't sit there and I don't spread false narratives just because I want to say something. With bonus, yeah, but he got to hit on bonuses. You know what I mean? He got to hit the bonuses, right? There's no way I'm giving Jonnu $12 million a year, but there's no reason that the Miami Dolphins shouldn't give the guy $7-8 million. There's no reason that the Miami Dolphins shouldn't offer him $7-8 million. He's willing to take a discount to stay here in Miami. He wants to be here. He's underpaid. You got away paying him less money than what his production was worth last year. He's on the last year of his deal. Give him a new deal. Now, are they nervous that's going to open up the door for other guys that come screaming for a new deal? Maybe, because you should be offering Jordan Brooks a new contract. You should be ordering Jordan Brooks a new contract, Zach Sealer a new contract. Listen, you gotta re-sign the good guys for your team. You gotta re-sign your own players. And these are our players, and they're crucial parts to our team. Now, the only way you don't re-sign or give an extension to Jonnu is if this is really truly a rebuild and you're not worried about production this year. You're not worried about wins this year. If that's what it is, and you don't want to pay Jonnu this year, and then come out and tell us at least. Then tell us at least. But stop lying to us all the time, and then stop telling us we're going right, and then you're always turning left. I really do think Chris Grier thinks this fan base is stupid. Not much, Glenn. If any, not much. His contract's real low. I don't know how much the guarantee money is right offhand, but if there is, Frozen Fin fan says, Glenn, no, he has no guaranteed money. Brooks and Sealer both would be more permanent than Smith, but I do feel we need to bump Jonnu's pay. Yeah, I mean, I think Brooks and Sealer would come first. $8 million for a Pro Bowl tight end? Like, come on. Now, maybe this has nothing to do with Chris Grier, though. Maybe this has nothing to do with Chris Grier. Maybe this is strictly a Stephen Ross thing, and Stephen Ross is he's had it. Maybe Stephen Ross has just had it and is not willing to open up that wallet no more. But maybe Stephen Ross isn't willing to open up that wallet no more. Edward, I think you should be able to get a fourth for Jonnu. Is that better, Elwood? Is that better? Yeah, just let me know. I don't know why every once in a great while I don't know why. I don't know what to do about it. But yeah, every once in a while, if it happens, just let me know. 2-second fix. Yeah, I'd say a fourth round for Jonnu. And don't get me wrong, I would love. What the fuck? I don't know why it keeps doing it now. Yeah, I think a fourth round pick would be nice, and I would love to have all the draft capital next year. Yeah, I think a fourth round pick would be nice. I would love to have all the draft capital next year. What up, Irving? I don't know how to say your name. White Hirschmick. Grier's fourth round. Listen, Edward, hopefully Chris Grier's not here next year. I mean, I think even if we win games, Chris Grier we need to move on from Chris Grier. Yeah, but Glenn, whatever team trades for him is going to have to give him a new contract, so the low pay, you know what I mean? So that low pay is going to not be a factor. I would love to get a third round pick, but since he's 30 years old, I think if he's 26, 27 years old, yeah, by all means. By all means. I think that'd be a third round pick would be appropriate. Now, maybe the Miami Dolphins, they were connected a lot with the Oakland Raiders and Michael Mayer this offseason. So maybe they're looking over at the Raiders like, hey, what can we get Michael Mayer for? Michael Mayer's just sitting over there, a very talented tight end, young guy that they don't really have a need for. They got Brock Bowers. Maybe they have their eyes on him. But then again, I'm hearing Michael Mayer has some mental issues going on. Yeah, it's not a huge new contract. You're right. You're right, Glenn. It's not. I think Jonnu would stay in Miami 3 years, 21 million. Give him 11 million guaranteed. I'd throw that contract offer out there. That's not going to hurt us. Backload it when in 2027 we got a shit ton of cap room. Why not? Why not? He's one of the best players on this offense. Tight end is a integral part of this offense. But again, maybe Stephen Ross is not on board with spending any more money. And if Stephen Ross is not on board with spending any more money, that means we're going into the season with the corners that we have on the roster. And that's an even scarier prospect. Because listen, we've seen this offense succeed without a top tier tight end. We've seen the Miami Dolphins be the number one offense in all of football without a top tier tight end. So is the top tier tight end that crucial? I wouldn't say that, but it's nice to have. We get Schoolmaker from Dallas with a 4th or 5th round for Ramsey. Scotty mentioned that trade last week. It's sounding more realistic now. Where is Scotty? I haven't seen Scotty. Where you seen him at? Scotty don't mess with Big C no more. That's another thing, Elwood. June 1st cuts. I hear Mark Andrews, Dawson Knox are going to get cut. Man, I like Jonnu Smith a lot. But Mark Andrews, would you guys switch out Jonnu for Mark Andrews? And I know he had a tough playoffs last year. See, I don't know about that, Glenn. You say I hate to say that Greer's building this team like he has no worry. Oh, okay. You're right. I read it wrong. You're right. Oh, being fired. You're absolutely right. Darnell Washington, he hasn't really, from what I'm hearing from Pittsburgh people, he hasn't really been what they thought he was going to be. Irving, I'm not saying that we should trade Jonnu, not by any means, but the franchise is going to do what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I don't have, in a perfect world, we keep Jonnu. I didn't wake up yesterday morning and think, later in the day I was going to see that Jonnu Smith is on the trade block. Not by any means. Not by any means. Listen, we got 19 people in the building. I see only 8 likes. Is that real life? We only got 8 likes and 19 people in the building. Please make sure you hit that like button. Please, please, please. I trade Smith for a number 1 corner. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's doing that. That would be nice, Glenn. I'd love that. That'd be nice. Irving, I agree. If you give Sealer, Brooks, and Jonnu an extension, that frees up more cap space this year. I don't know why they're doing the things they do. Yeah, that's crazy. 20 people watching, only 7 likes. I know I've talked to more than 7 people. It's like that. It's like that, fellow Fin fans. Y'all don't got no love for Big C? Nah, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? You know, I'm just tired of the extras this offseason. Like, damn, like if it's not one thing, it's another. Why can't we have just a peaceful couple of months? You know, go in the training camp, get our team. You know what I mean? We got Ramsey, we got Tyreek, we got the Jonnu thing. Jesus. If it's not one thing, it's another with this franchise. And it's driving me insane, to be honest. It's absolutely driving me insane. Like, when does it stop? When does it stop? Come on, we only had 10 likes. Can we boost it up, please? Please. Gotta get in that algorithm, baby. Elwood, he might be on Game Changers. If you're on Game Changers, come over to the Fin Posse. It's exhausting, Bonnie. I agree. Like, you know, once you start trying to, you know, and that's why we're gonna predict the games here in a second. But that's why, you know, these predictions are far too early. First off, this team's still gonna undergo major changes, hopefully. But damn, can we stay out of the headlines for a day? Can we stay out of the headlines? That is what I do, not like just not knowing what this team is actually doing. It just after a while it gets extremely old, you know what I mean? Like, and you want this fan base to be successful. You want this franchise to be successful. We're just, people make a mockery out of us, and it's because of shit like this. We can't bring our own players back. Shoot, I can't even get likes on my channel. I'm still at 10. Still at 10 likes with 20 people live. What's up? But yeah, I mean, we're 2 days away from hopefully Jalen Ramsey being on his way out. Hopefully we got some plan for the cornerback position. But listen, I'm not confident in that. I'm not confident in that. Just when I think, you know, I can understand us moving on from Ramsey. You know what I mean? I can understand some of the moves we've made. We're not in the market for paying these big name guys anymore that, you know, we're trying to get younger and stuff. But Jonnu Smith, there's absolutely no reason not to give him $8 million a year. There's absolutely no reason. And it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that we're not going to pay, you know, one of our best players. And we're not talking $100 million here. We're not talking $100 million. We're not talking $80 million. We're not even talking $50 million. We're talking $20 million to make the guy happy. And we're not willing to do that. We're not willing to, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like, why don't we want to make our own players happy? All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. We're going to go through and see what possible playoff scenarios are. I'm going to try to keep track of my phone, and maybe certain games I'll ask you, and this is just a quick thing. Yeah, I mean, Glenn, Sealer not going to OTAs because of the contract. I mean, I guess we'll find out. Mandatory many are OTAs. Yeah, Irving, he wants to stay. What up, Miller? What up? What up? Make sure you hit that like button. Everybody else, people are starting on it. Let's go add to screen. Now this is a real quick thing. Again, we'll do a more in-depth one as the season gets closer. All right, so this is week 1. Week 1. You got Chiefs at the Chargers. I'm going to say the Chiefs. Pittsburgh at the Jets. I'm going to say Pittsburgh. Dolphins at the Colts. Dolphins. Bengals at the Browns. Bengals. We're going to go New England over the Raiders. Broncos over the Titans. Buffalo at Ray are, I don't know who's home for that game. Ravens and Buffalo. Who you guys got? Ravens, Bills. Who you guys got? I think the Ravens are going to beat the brakes off them, honestly. Marco says Buffalo. Miller says Ravens. Glenn says Ravens. Elwood says Ravens. That's bet. I'm going to say Carolina beats Jacksonville and the Rams beat the Texans. I'm going to go with the Eagles over the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cardinals over the Saints. Tampa Bay over Atlanta. Washington over the Giants. San Francisco over Seattle. And the Lions over Green Bay. And the Vikings over the Bears. Let's get up to week 2. Oh, shoot. All right, week 2. Got Buffalo over the Jets. I'm going to say Miami beats New England. Cincinnati beats the Jaguars. Ravens beat the Browns. Broncos beat the Colts. Chargers beat the Raiders. You got the Rams over the Titans. Pittsburgh over Seattle. I'm going to say the Eagles beat Kansas City again. Tampa Bay over the Texans. Washington over Green Bay. Dallas over the Giants. San Francisco over the Saints. Lions over the Bears. I'm going to go the Cardinals over, or the Panthers over the Cardinals. Panthers really impressed me at the end of last season. And the Vikings over Atlanta. Okay. Next. Jesus. Dolphins at Bills. I am going to this game. Call me a homer. Miami steals one at Buffalo. We're going there in September. Miami steals this one at Buffalo. I promise I'll be realistic from here on out. But Miami has typically played Buffalo tough at home. I think we contain Josh Allen. I think the Miami Dolphins offense puts on a show. And I think the Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills. I think we beat the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go Titans over Colts, Patriots over Steelers, Texans over Jags, Chargers over the Broncos. Bengals over the Vikings, Tampa over the Jets, Washington over the Raiders, Green Bay over the Browns, Kansas City over the Giants. I'm going Ravens over the Lions. I think the Ravens are going to be on a mission this year. I got the Eagles over the Rams. I'm going to go Atlanta over Carolina this one. Seattle over the Saints. San Francisco over the Cardinals. Dallas over the Bears. And, of course, you always got to take into account some upsets and stuff. I think there's a lot of teams there's going to be a couple teams that struggle to get wins this year, I think. I think Houston's going to beat the Titans. Again, I think Baltimore beats the Chiefs. Dolphins beat the Jets. Bengals beat the Broncos. Minnesota beats Pittsburgh. Going New England over Carolina. Chargers over New York. Buffalo over the Saints. Lions over the Browns. Going with the Rams over the Colts. What the hell's going on? What the hell? All right. That ad went crazy. Rams over the Colts. We got San Francisco over the Jags. Going to go the Bears over the Raiders. I'm going to go Cardinals over the Seattle. Going Eagles. Commanders over the Falcons. And Green Bay over Dallas. Baltimore over the Texans. We'll go the Raiders over the Colts. I think the Colts are going to struggle this year. Bills over the Patriots. Kansas City over the Jags. Vikings over Cleveland. Dallas over the Jets. Eagles over the Broncos. Dolphins over the Panthers. Let's say the Titans steal one from the Cards. Washington beats the Chargers. The Lions beat the Bengals. The Rams beat San Francisco. The Giants beat the Saints. And Tampa Bay beats Seattle. If you've noticed, I'm not too high on Seattle. No, I don't got a cat. Why? Well, I mean, I do got a cat. Why? You see it? Why you ask if I got a cat? I said, no, I don't got a cat. I do got a cat. I'm going to go the Broncos over the Jets. Pittsburgh over this damn ad. Get out of here, Walmart. Pittsburgh over the Browns. Dolphins, Chargers. Dolphins, Chargers. I'm going to leave this one to you guys. Dolphins, Chargers. Dolphins, Chargers. I'm going to leave this one to you guys. Dolphins, Chargers. Elwood or Miller says Chargers. Elwood says Miami. Bonnie says Dolphins. You guys try to be realistic. I know your guys' hearts be saying Dolphins, but try to think of it. Well, I got 3 Dolphins, so we're gonna go Dolphins. And I think the Dolphins can beat the Chargers. So I don't think this is a huge upset. Obviously, the Chargers were pretty good last year. They got Jim Harbaugh, who's a fantastic coach. So I'm all right. You know what I mean? I'm all right picking them. Games like that are games that we're going to have to win if we want to make the playoffs. I'm going to go Seattle over the Jags. Ravens over the Rams. Cardinals over the Colts. Patriots over the Saints. Bengals over Green Bay. I'm going to go KC over the Lions. Buffalo over the Falcons. We got the Eagles over the Giants. Tampa Bay over San Francisco. Go Dallas over Carolina. Washington over the Bears. Got the Bengals over Pittsburgh. We got New England over the Titans. KC over the Raiders. Dolphins over Cleveland. Chargers over the Colts. We got the Chargers, or not the Chargers, the Rams over the Jags. And give this to the Jets. Broncos, Texans, Eagles, Bears over the Saints, Green Bay over the Cardinals, Washington over Dallas. Actually, I'm going to say Washington loses this game. I think Washington loses to Dallas at home. San Francisco over Atlanta, and then the Lions over the Bucks. So right now, what week is this? What week is this? Week 7. You got the Eagles leading the NFC East at 7-0, right behind Washington 6-1, Cowboys 5-2, Giants 1-6. You got in the North Division in NFC, you got the Lions at 5-2, the Vikings at 4-2, Green Bay at 3-3, and the Bears at 2-4. NFC South, you got Tampa Bay at 5-2, Carolina at 2-5, Atlanta at 1-5, and the Saints at 0-7. I think the Saints are going to struggle mightily this year. NFC West, you got the Rams at 5-2, San Francisco at 5-2, Cardinals at 3-4, and the Seattle Seahawks at 2-5. And then it disappears on me. Oh, it's on the other side. AFC North, you got the you got the Ravens at 6-0. You got the Bengals at 6-1. You got Steelers 3-3. You got Cleveland 0-7. We got the Dolphins undefeated at 7-0. I don't know if that makes us homers. you got New England at 5-2, Buffalo at 4-2, the Jets at 1-6, KC 5-2, Chargers 4-3, the Broncos 4-3, and the Raiders 1-6. In the South in the AFC, you got the Texans leading at 3-3. You got the Titans at 3-4. You got the Jags at 0-7. You got the Colts at 0-7. Tough division. Now, maybe this makes us a little bit of homers. We're 7-0, but I think there's a chance. I think worst case scenario, we're 5-2 after 7 weeks. All right, week 8, got the Bengals over the Jets. You got New England over them. Go the Titans here. We got the Vikings over the Chargers. San Francisco over the Texans. Buffalo over Carolina. Miami over Atlanta. Ravens over the Bears. I'm going to give Dallas over Denver. Green Bay over Pittsburgh. And I'm going to give Kansas City the win over Washington. I'm giving the Eagles over the Giants and Tampa Bay over the Saints. Okay. Ravens at Dolphins. I'm giving it to the Ravens. I think Baltimore is just that team this year. I think they're one of the top 3 teams in the league. Giving the Broncos over the Texans. Chargers over the Titans. Pittsburgh over the Colts. Give the Jags a win over the Raiders. Buffalo, Kansas City. Buffalo usually handles Kansas City in the regular season. Bengals over the Bears. I think Atlanta beats New England. Green Bay over Carolina. The Lions over the Vikings. San Francisco over the Giants. Rams over the Saints. Washington over Seattle. Dallas over the Cardinals. This is our rough stretch coming up. Oh, we got the Broncos over the Raiders. We got the Texans over. What the freak? Oh, shoot. Jets over Cleveland. So I'm going to say Cleveland steals that. We're going Buffalo over Miami this one. Chargers over the Steelers. We're going Falcons over the Colts. Baltimore again. Tampa Bay over Patriots. We're giving the Bears over the Giants. Carolina over the Saints. We'll go with the Cardinals over Seattle. Go with the Rams over San Francisco. Say Washington beats the Lions. And Green Bay goes out and beats the Eagles. They upset the Eagles. New England over the Jets. Tennessee steals one from the Texans. Cincinnati wins over the Steelers. Chargers over the Jags. Kansas City over the Broncos. Ravens over the Browns. Washington beats Miami in Spain. Buffalo beats Tampa Bay. Dallas beats the Raiders. We got the Bears upsetting the Vikings. You know, the Vikings still got the new head coach. We got the Panthers upsetting I don't know if it's an upset against Atlanta. Green Bay beating the Giants. Rams beating the Seahawks. San Francisco beating the Cardinals. I'm going to say the Eagles beat the Lions. That's going to be a good game. Buffalo over the Texans. Kansas City over the Colts. Bengals over the Patriots. Baltimore over the Jets. Raiders win over the Browns. We got the Bears beating Pittsburgh. I think this is Mike Tomlin's last year in Pittsburgh. Titans win. Cardinals win. Sorry, I don't get to see all your comments. Glenn, I gave us the wins early in the season. I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I don't want to be a homer and pick all the, you know what I mean? I don't want Miami finishing 14-3 and, you know what I mean? Falcons over the Saints. Eagles over the Cowboys. Got Tampa over LA. Got San Francisco over Carolina. Let's say the Bengals outscore the Ravens in this one. Titans with Cam Ward. Texans beat the Colts. Got the Chargers. Buffalo over the Steelers. KC over Dallas. Dolphins beat up on the Saints. The Falcons beat the Jets. San Francisco beats the Browns. Washington beats the Broncos. I think the Broncos missed the playoffs this year, I think. New England over the Giants. You got Detroit over Green Bay. Eagles over the Bears. Bucks over the Cards. Rams over the Panthers. Minnesota over Seattle. Entering December, see if we have another December fall apart. Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins. I'm going to say Baltimore beats the Steelers. Colts beat the Jags. Tennessee beats Cleveland. Say the Raiders upset the Broncos. Bengals at Bills. I'm going to say the Bengals upset the Buffalo Bills. They just outscore them. Kansas City over the Texans. I'm going to say the Chargers upset the Eagles. Lions over Cowboys. Green Bay over the Bears. Washington over Minnesota. Seattle over Atlanta. Tampa Bay over the Saints. Rams over Cardinals. KC over the Chargers. I'm going to say the Bengals beat the Ravens again. Buffalo over New England. Jets over Jags. Dolphins beat the Steelers. I got the Texans over the Cards. Bears over the Browns. Eagles over the Raiders. San Francisco over the Titans. Seattle over the Colts. Green Bay over the Broncos. Tampa over Atlanta. Washington over the Giants. Lions over the Rams. Carolina over the Saints. Dallas over Minnesota. KC over the Titans. Baltimore over New England. Buffalo over Cleveland. Broncos over the Jags. Texans over the Raiders. The Bengals beat the Dolphins. Their offense is just too much for Miami secondary. I'm going to say the Cowboys beat the Chargers. Jets beat the Saints. Actually, I'm going to say the Saints beat the Jets. Lions over the Steelers. San Francisco over the Colts. Rams. Let's say the Bears steal this one. Shoot. I'm going Washington over the Eagles. Minnesota over the... No, I'm going the Giants over Minnesota. I think the quarterback for the Vikings is going to struggle. Tampa over Panthers. Atlanta over Cardinals. There's are going to be some close games that could go either way. Got KC over the Broncos. Chargers over the Titans. Colts over the Jags. New England over the Jets. Pittsburgh over the Browns. Giants over the Raiders. Ravens win over the Packers. Bengals win over the Cards. Titans over the Saints. Tampa and Miami. Who do you guys got on this one? Tampa and Miami. Tampa and Miami. Michael says Tampa. Yeah, obviously I'm going based upon Tua's being healthy the whole year, the team remaining mostly healthy. Bonnie says Tampa. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Tampa too. Tampa's going to be good this year. I think the Eagles will beat Buffalo, Washington over the Cowboys, Lions over the Vikings, Carolina over Seattle. I think the Bears sneak out one. I think the Bears improve at the end of the season. Rams over the Falcons. Now we're at week 18, and some of these games ain't going to matter for teams. Some of these games aren't going to matter for teams. This game does not matter for Kansas City. So I got the Raiders winning that. This matters for the Chargers. They're going to win. They're going to have to win. Bengals over the. Actually, I'm going to. No, they got to play. That's it. Buffalo over the Jets. Dolphins beat New England. The Ravens beat the Steelers. The Titans beat the Jags. Rams beat the Cardinals. San Francisco beat Seattle. Green Bay beats Minnesota. Lions beat the Bears. Go steal some. See what it looks like. All right, so I have the Bengals winning the AFC North at 16-1. Of course, I think they're going to end up losing more than one game. I see them losing at least 3 or 4 games. I just think their offense is high powered. You know what I mean? I think their offense is high powered, like maybe the best offense in all of football, and they're going to score a lot of points. They're going to be tough to beat. Baltimore is finishing at 15-2. I got the Steelers at 5-12 and the Browns at 1-16. I think the Browns are really going to struggle. AFC East, we got Buffalo at 13-4, Miami 12-5. Listen, that I'll be super happy with 12-5. I think we probably finish at best 11-6, but I'll take the 12-5. New England 9-8, up and coming. They made huge improvements to the roster. The Jets have no quarterback. They're 2-15. In the West, more of the same. Kansas City 13-4. Chargers 11-6. Broncos take a step back with a rough schedule, 7-10. Raiders 4-13. And then the Titans steal the AFC North or South. Cam Ward takes the Titans to a division title in one of the weakest divisions in all of football, if not the weakest. It finishes 10-7. Over in the NFC, we got the Eagles winning that division at 14-3. Washington right on their heels though at 14-3. Dallas makes the playoffs too at 11-6. You got Tampa at 14-3 and just a terrible division that they should just sweep the floor with all them guys. You got the Lions at 13-4, Green Bay at 11-6, and then the Rams at 13-4. And this got San Francisco at 13-4, but I think the 49ers lose more than 4 games. So the playoff matchups as of right now, we got the Ravens versus the Titans, Dolphins versus Kansas City, and Buffalo and the Chargers. Buffalo and the Chargers. That's kind of sucks. We get lined up with Kansas City again. I'd have the Baltimore over the Titans. I'm going to say Miami beats Kansas City. Buffalo over the Chargers. Washington over the Rams. Lions over San Francisco. Tampa beats Green Bay. Submit weeks. But yeah, just a quick run through. I do have us making the playoffs based on that. What do you guys think? Michael says we don't make the playoffs. I don't agree, Michael. Miller says, my guy got us at best 10-7, skidding into the playoffs if the stars align, but realistically, it'll be 8-9 with at least two going down for 2 weeks to something minor. I'm doing to make you see differently, and I don't blame you. Tua has yet to show us that he can stay healthy on a consistent basis, but I don't think you're necessarily giving the rest of the team enough credit. If Tua stays healthy, I think this team finishes well above 10. I think we win at least 11 games. If Tua's healthy the whole year, I think we win 11 games. E-Dub says Kansas City is absolutely beatable, but Miami can beat them with bad play calling and constant mistakes, which they are known for in big games. You can't argue with that, E-Dub. I can't argue with that. Raphael was saying, I was thinking 7-10 max. Secondary, hello, Sauce and Tua factor. Listen, Tua missed 6 games last year, and we just barely missed the playoffs. Obviously, we need something to go right with the secondary. We do. We need something we need to get the secondary going. We need something to happen with that. And if Stephen Ross isn't willing to spend money, and God only knows what Chris Greer's mindset is, who knows what we're gonna do. I'm done trying to predict what this team is gonna do, because I think we're headed left and we take our turn right. I did not expect for us to be considering trading Jonnu Smith because he wants a mediocre pay raise. Pay the guys that perform for you. You know what I mean? The guy kept his nose clean. He performed well above his contract last year. Give the guy some money. But, there's no way that I can believe that we're trying to win this year if we continue to try to trade our best players away. Now, I don't know what happened between Jalen Ramsey and this staff. Screw him anyway. But was there even an effort that made to fix things with Jalen Ramsey? Was there even an effort made to fix things? I think you got to do the due diligence, right? You got to make a phone call and at least try to fix things initially. Did that even happen? Did that even happen? Because you know how it makes our cornerback room look with Jalen Ramsey not here. You know how bad our corner room looks without Jalen Ramsey. So you owe it to the team, you owe it to the fan base to have at least made a phone call to try to fix things. Did you guys do that? Did you guys do your due diligence? I honestly can't say that they did. I can't say confidently that they did. And it blows my mind. And that's why I feel like leadership of this team needs to change. I stick up for Stephen Ross all the time. But if this season isn't successful and we sit there and ignore the corner room and we ignore Jonnu Smith's raise request and he didn't co-sign it, if he doesn't make a move, maybe Stephen Ross does need to go. Where did you hear, Raphael? Where did you hear that Tyreek Hill say he wanted to fuck Mike McDaniel up? I don't know if that was ever said. You're right, Miller. There are multiple positions. We're one injury away. I mean, the offensive line and, the quarterback position. I mean, there's not multiple besides the quarterback. You got the quarterback and the offensive line. If we have an injury along the offensive line or an injury at quarterback, we're screwed. Bonnie, you're absolutely correct. But lots of teams don't have an injury-prone quarterback. You know what I mean? But lots of teams are one injury away, Miller. The Buffalo Bills are one injury away to a Josh Allen to being in third place in this division this year. If Josh Allen goes down for 8 games, the Buffalo Bills are missing the playoffs. I just mocked the Bengals to have 15 wins. If Joe Burrow goes down, well, my apologies, Raphael. I'm sure he said it jokingly, though. I believe you, Raphael. I want to hear the radio situation between I was looking for it yesterday. I want to hear the radio call in with Reason and Omar yesterday. Did they go at it? Anybody catch that? I mean, Miller, we're talking injuries to our quarterback. Teams don't deal with that. They miss the playoffs in years that their quarterback gets hurt. The Bengals, even Tom Brady's Patriots. Tom Brady goes down for the year, they miss the playoffs. You know what I mean? When teams' quarterbacks go down, they miss the playoffs. They don't just deal with them. They don't just deal with them. They miss the playoffs. They struggle mightily. The Buffalo Bills will be a hot mess if Josh Allen gets hurt. Believe that. Believe that. Miller, of course, you're going to find certain circumstances. But again, the Philadelphia Eagles have built that team correctly for quite a few years now. The Philadelphia Eagles had the top offensive line in all of football that year, too. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't Raphael. They called in the WQAM or something. Jesus. Usually it doesn't happen more than once. I don't. Usually it doesn't happen more than once. I don't. But yeah, I mean, lots of teams are one injury away. But I mean, we can forget all about having a successful season if this team's not willing to. If we're not going to sign players or we're not going to keep players, I don't think Zach Sealer is going to be okay playing without a new contract. I don't. So do we lose? Do we trade Zach Sealer too? If Jordan Brooks comes up and says he wants a contract, are we trading Jordan Brooks too? So I don't know what's going to happen to this team. If the front office isn't concerned with winning, we're going to struggle. Miller, if Tua plays that game against Buffalo, we would have won that game. And he's definitely not the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Definitely not. Mason Rudolph would be the starting quarterback. Raphael, I don't even know. I mean, Bradley Chubb would be the leader. Chop would probably be the best player. But does that not put worry into you that, you know, if we're not willing to go out there and re-sign a player that had 92 catches for us, 8 touchdowns and 800 yards to a reasonable deal, why would we go out and give 15 to 17 million to Zach Sealer? Miller, listen, brother, you can have your opinions just like I can, just like the next person can. But the fact of the matter is, if teams starting quarterbacks go down, they struggle. You're talking about Patrick Mahomes missing one game. What stretch did he ever go down a bunch of games? You talk about the one instance where the Philadelphia Eagles, with the best offensive line and the best defensive line in football, won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Who was Nick Foles? Look at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz ain't nothing. You act like Nick Foles was replacing Tom Brady. Carson Wentz wasn't nothing. Nick Foles might have been the better quarterback. To be real, they probably got to upgrade. Again, typically teams struggle if their starting quarterback goes down. If, like in 2023, half of your stars are injured or all your offensive line and all your pass rushers are injured, you're not going to win games. I don't care who you are. Miami has been they've had some bad luck. Let's be real. Can we keep it official? Miami has had a bad stretch of luck. I mean, he wasn't the entire pass rush because Zach Sealer had more sacks than him. Zach Sealer had more sacks than Chop did. So how was he the entire pass rush? If Dolphins do trade Jonnu Smith, they better go get after Raiders tight end Mayer. I was saying that about Mayer, but at the same time, I'm hearing Mayer has like mental issues. He's struggling with. He's got demons in his head. He hears voices in his head. He hears something. And I'm not necessarily disputing that, Miller. Chop has all the capabilities to be the best player on this defense. He's just got to grow. And the fact that he struggles against the run is going to limit how many snaps he gets to. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's much improved against the run this year. He doesn't necessarily have to come out on plays that are supposed running plays. You know what I mean? He struggles to set the edge. Hopefully he's improved on it. But I have great I have great expectations of Chop Robinson this year. I think Chop can get the 15 sacks this year. I do. But we shall see. I plan on doing some kind of fan panel later on tonight, probably. I'm not sure at the time. Sealer benefited from Chop. Sealer got lucky. We went from Wilkins to Chop. Wilkins and Chop don't play the same position. Wilkins and Chop would have nothing to do with each other. Calais Campbell played where Wilkins was. You know what I mean? But hopefully do a fan panel tonight. I'm not sure of the time. But I appreciate you all stopping in. Hopefully the Dolphins come to their senses and give Jonnu some kind of extension. I'd hate to see us leave him. I'd hate to see him. I'd hate to see us lose him. At some point, the shit becomes ridiculous, and you get ridiculous. It gets ridiculous. I'll be there. Bring your Waddle receipts. I didn't mean position. I meant getting the pressure. I mean, until Wilkins last year, he wasn't known as a pass rusher. That's why we didn't want to give him the big contract in the prior years. Is that he didn't get after the quarterback enough. It was only his last year with us that he had a decent amount of sacks. And there's no receipt that you can bring me. You don't have enough receipts to tell me that Jalen Waddle's a top tier receiver, brother. You can't tell me there's not enough plays. You're gonna have five highlight plays over 4 or 5 years of play. That's not enough. That's not enough. But I love you all. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see y'all later. And you know what it is. Fins up till we die. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Amen to that. I appreciate every single one of you. Until next time. Fins up. Peace out. Peace.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me.